Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome back to Conquering the Euro on Football Manager 2021 with Everton. And if you're thinking, hey, he's with Everton now, he was with Nice last time, what's happened? Go and watch the previous episode. We have joined Everton in the Premier League and we have got off to what I would say is a decent start. We played against Wolves in the televised match that we had last episode, but since then, we've gone on a decent run. We've had 2 wins from 3, which certainly isn't too bad. We went and beat Southampton away from home, which is a brilliant result, by the way. Southampton, at this point at least, was 6th in the Premier League, so a brilliant result against them. But it was done late. Lucas Torreira scored an early goal, 20 minutes in, but Reiss Nelson came on at the end of the match up front. He was our only option on the bench up front, and it seems to have been a bit of an inspired decision, to be quite honest. He got a late double. We then went and beat Southampton. Unfortunately, though, it wasn't such a good deal against Norwich away from home at Carrow Road. We went and lost to them by 4 goals to 2. Possibly, I think we were a bit attacking in that match, maybe. We went and pushed forward a bit too much and sort of, I guess it was a 2-3-1 game, but because we attacked a bit more, it was 4-2 rather than 3-1. But again, a goal from Reiss Nelson and a goal from Iwobi. But the last match was much more like it against Brentford at home. Admittedly, Brentford, a team we should be looking to beat. They're in 19th in the Premier League. But even so, an early goal from Lewis Williams, who, if you hadn't seen him, is a cracking little player. I don't think we're going to be able to get him full time, to be brutally honest, because he's 20 years old, on loan from Chelsea, already a 4-star player, potential to be a 5-star player. He could be a real star in the future. And he's got the most assists for us in the league this year, but he chipped in with a goal as well. And as you can see, goals from Atal and Marcus Edwards put us 3-1 up at half-time. Brentford did bring it back. Oh, no, they didn't actually. Reiss Nelson scored again to make it 4-2. They did 4-1. They did bring it back to 4-2, but that was that. And you will notice, last time out, our top goal scorer had, I think, 5 goals. Now, it's Reiss Nelson with 8, and it seems that picking him up front has been a bit of an inspired choice, at least short-term. Anyway, I'll have to see if it's a case that happens long-term, but he's a definite striking option. That's what we need. We need an up-front option because, as I discussed last episode, I think Everton are a team that, are draw specialists. Haven't been since we've started with them. But they don't score many, apart from against Scunthorpe. They don't score many, but equally they don't let many in. And I think one of the issues, and I guess it's a good problem to have in some ways, if you are going to be more attacking, like we are, our tactic, our formation, the way I play football allows that to happen, you're going to concede more goals. It's inevitable. So, ultimately, I'd like to go for 3 points more than I do 1 point, but it seems that our predecessor Ancelotti liked going for 1 point a lot more. But to be fair, from our first 4 games, we've took 6 points. I will definitely take that. But today, we've got a game against Blackpool in the FA Cup. That really is probably our main route to getting a European spot for next year. And then we've got a game away from home against Leicester. But this is how it leaves the Premier League table looking. And to be quite honest, we're not out of the race for Europe at this point. It is a very bizarre league. It's so close this year. Again, only 8 points between Brentford and the bottom and ourselves. And equally, only 6 points between ourselves and Wolves. Now, I do appreciate that Wolves have got a game in hand. However, even if they win that, we're 9 points away. And with 14 games to go, that's not a terrible mountain to climb. In fact, we're only 10 points behind Liverpool in 4th. So this is an incredibly close season. It looks like it's going to be one of Chelsea or Manchester United that win the league. They are the runaway top 2, but it could be anybody apart from that. I mean, even Sheffield United or Bournemouth could get into the top 6 at this point. I've seen stranger things happen, but, you know, Arsenal going down would also be unbelievable. A bit of a note, I don't quite know what to do here, but I suppose you guys might be able to tie me down in the comments. We have got Dennis Zakaria on loan from Manchester City. This was something that was agreed by Carlo Ancelotti. He's a good player, don't get me wrong. He's the sort of player we're looking for in midfield. We need another midfielder, really. But he's 29. And if he plays 3 more games for us, he comes to us on a mandatory future fee of 13 million. And it's not the most in the world, is it? But looking at our transfer budget, next season it'll be 16.32 million. Do we want to sign him and then potentially not have a lot of money to play with? Tricky one. But he's not playing today. It come up my inbox saying if he plays 3 more times, he has to go on a deal. I'm thinking, oh God. But we have made a few signings. Nothing coming in at the moment. But we have bought in Lorenzo Chevrolet from Genoa, actually. But it's PSG he's come from. He looks a little decent player. I'm a little bit fuming because the scout said he would be brilliant and then decided to bring this scouting report out that he's actually not great. He would, you know, they come up in the scouting meeting and said, get this man, he's brilliant. And then he's not brilliant, but, you know, he's actually okay. He's someone that, if anything, we can make a profit on. He's worth 2.8 million, and he's only 19, and he's 3 stars. So, yeah, actually, on the face of it, he doesn't look too bad. And we're also looking to bring in one of our youngsters from OGC Nice. I know he was a good player. I know he had a good potential, and Mark Lloris has got his contract expiring at the end of the season, so we're trying to pick him up on a free transfer. Michael Keane, now we've been trying to get rid of him because he hasn't really got a future left at the club. We accepted a bid from Granada, but unfortunately that fell through. But at the moment, not really much else going on. There's no one really out there in the transfer market that tickles my fancy. And if there is, they cost too much money. We've only got 7 million in the bank to play with. So the team for this game against Blackpool today, Blackpool at the bottom of the Championship, is we've made a few changes, but been hesitant not to make too many. But looking at that team, it's actually quite a weakened team, to be fair. But anyway, we've got Angus Gunn in goal, our second choice. We've got Christian Manea, who is a player that actually plays in the under-23s most of the time. But again, he's certainly a fringe player, probably our second choice right back. So he goes there. Toby Alderweireld, who we found. Wow. I can't believe we found... Well, I was looking through the under-23s, see if there was any decent players. And this man popped up. He'd been snuck in the under-23s. He's got a year left on his contract. And I think we bloody might as well use him. Certainly as a backup player anyway. He can certainly do a job. So he plays today alongside Michael Keane. Zaidu Sanusi plays as well. He looks like a good player. We played him, I think, there in a previous match. He looks like a good player. We've got Allen and Decore in the midfield. We have Kouyaté, Edwards and Allen on the wings. We've got Kouyaté again. He's another youngster. His stats, in terms of a coach summary, doesn't look great, but some of his stats don't look too bad. Some of his attributes don't look too bad. So we're going to give him a chance in today's match. Marcus Edwards, you know from the previous episode. Alex Allen again is another youngster, another regen, but he looks like he could be a really good player. So I think it's time for him to get his first match today. And we start Thomas Butnik up front, who, going forward, if he does well, I would like to make him our first choice striker. But as you can see, Ancelotti signed him for nearly 20 million. 28 actually plus add-ons earlier on in this year, and he's got a 5-year contract, but so far at Everton he's played 12 games in the Premier League, 2 goals. Yeah, it's not great, but ultimately he's not really had much of a chance. And finally, before we get into today's match, I've tried to get rid of Neil Maupay, who the players have, well, to be fair, a section of players, maybe 5 of 6, have gone absolutely ballistic over. Well, I'm sorry, but he's 29, he's worth 33 million, he's not in my plans, I don't want him here. You know, he had a decent first year at Everton, but it's not been great since then. Only 5 goals this year. Suggests that he probably needs to go. But, clubs aren't willing to pay for him. I put a feeler out there for 30 million. That's about what he's worth. 7.5 came back. So, we're not going to get rid of him. I guess he's going to be used as a backup option. But we've really ruined things with the relationship with him there, haven't we? Toby Alderweireld to take the badge. That's absolutely fine. There's a few tired players here, but I think we've got enough to get past Blackpool. I am really enjoying my start at Everton. I've just got to be careful that in these videos I don't accidentally wear my Liverpool shirt, because I feel like some of the Everton fans watching will get absolutely mad. Do you feel your ambitions for the club are matched by the board? What sort of question's that to ask before a match? Strange. Blackpool? No. We'll beat Blackpool today. I have a bit of a confession though. Well, not in terms of anything terrible in terms of this save, but I don't think I've ever won. I might have done it once. I don't think I've ever won the FA Cup on YouTube, but on Football Manager. I don't think I've ever done it. I can't remember doing it anyway. That's a bit worrying. 20 seconds in. That's not really the way I want to start. Wow. 20 seconds in. We put a stupid ball in, really, from Allen. Harry Chapman chucks the ball up the pitch. Whoever that is, Alderweireld gets caught napping. Angus Gunn should really do better with that. And that is not really the way I want to start. I haven't really got a lot to say after that. I'll tell you what, we need a goal fairly quickly, or else this could turn into another embarrassing loss. And I don't know whether I'll just put the kiss of death on myself there by saying I don't think I've ever won the FA Cup in Football Manager. I have to say, I can't really remember. I've won the Carabao Cup plenty of times. But from memory, I don't think I've ever won the FA Cup. We could do with a goal, though, here. We're 6 minutes in. If it goes 1-1, effectively, it's back to 0-0 again, and we don't panic. Butnik 1-on-1 with the keeper, and Thomas Butnik makes it 1 each. He gets his 3rd goal of the season. I know it's not the biggest opponent in the world, but if Butnik can get a hat-trick today, then that does him, and probably his spot in the team, a world of good. But I think at the moment that Reece Nelson, after how he's played, and he's getting goals consistently, he's got to stay in the team, ultimately, for now. But our next game against Leicester will be quite interesting. If we can win that, we do move up the table. But we've got some tough games coming up. I'll show you those nearer to the end of the episode. But it's going to be tough. I don't think we'll get into Europe this year, but we can always be ambitious, can't we? A lovely ball from Kouyaté to Buchnik. Buchnik very nearly puts us in front, but he's dispossessed by the defender near the goal. But a cracking ball there from I can't remember what his name is. All I know is the right winger who's playing for us, the youngster today. His name has gone out of my head. Is that Sonny Kai playing for Blackpool? It must be. And it's 2-1. What's going on? I know I said that we will concede a few more. I understand that. But we're playing against rooted to the bottom of the Championship Blackpool. Unbelievable. We're not playing Bayern Munich, are we? It's Blackpool. I think I really regret saying what I did at the start now, you know, that we'd never won the FA Cup on camera, because it feels like the FM gods have listened. What reason I think that this could be coming down to is the fact we're playing 2 old men at centre-back. Possibly, that might be the reason. Decore into the box. Buchnik doesn't get a goal. It's disallowed for offside. That's charming. Again, that would have helped, but the fact that, albeit we haven't done there in the end, but the fact that we're having to come back from why is my chair not moving? There we go, it's better. The fact that we're having to come back twice now from losing positions in this match is worrying, but I think it maybe is something to do with the fact we've got 2 old men at the back. I don't know, but Buchnik very nearly makes it 2 each. Tell you what, he's getting a lot of chances, is Buchnik. He's already took 1. Well, he's took 2, hasn't he? But it was disallowed for offside. But he's looking like a good player, but that is not really the sort of thing we want to do. They're getting in behind us far too easily, so I think we've got to just perhaps move the defensive line back a bit. I don't know, but very strange. Very, very strange. I've never seen anything, particularly against a lesser team, but it seems like they're just hoofing the ball up, and to be fair, it's working for them. They're getting it past our back line and getting into Angus Gooden, I suppose, doesn't really play many games, and, you know, well, we're struggling. We need a goal, really. Edwards still on the ball, puts it back to Allen, who's leaving the club, unfortunately, at the end of the season, but he is 36 now, so I'll let the previous management off for that one. Decore, Kouyaté, Mania, back to Decore. Can we get in something in the box? Allen puts it out wide to Zaidu, the left back, who played well, as I said, a few games ago. Puts it into the box for Marcus Edwards. This all feels a bit too slow. It is. I thought so. Yeah. It all seemed very slow to me, but I've increased the speed of the highlights, which is fine. But we've got another goal back. If we go 3-2 down now, I might just cry. At least it's a bit of entertainment for you guys, I suppose. Well, the post denied Blackpool going 3-2 up there. I hope it's just one of those freak games. I really do, where ultimately we get a freak result with plenty of goals, a bit like a 6-6 or something stupid. But as long as we're on the right side of it, I don't care whether we win by 1 or by 5. But Alderweireld has done shocking there, and that maybe is why, to be fair, Ancelotti put him in the under-23s. I did play Alderweireld against Norwich as well, so there might be a bit of a pattern coming up here. I don't know, but for us to have conceded 2 against Blackpool, to be fair, I think from the highlights we've watched in the first half now, we could quite have easily conceded 5. It suggests that our back 2 aren't really doing what they should be. Edwards into the box, but into Buchnik. Oh, I'll tell you what, that man could have had about 4 goals if the post hadn't denied him. But then if, you know, my auntie, she'd be my uncle. You know, that sort of story. I'm not going to complete the whole phrase there, but I think you can gather biologically. That's it. You can figure out biologically what I mean. Nearly at half-time, we've had 4 goals. I mean, ideally, I was dreaming of it being 4-0. I don't know what Angus Gunn is doing here. Just put the ball out because we're going to get dispossessed and we'll go 3-2 down. I'll tell you what, I am liking these billboards, just to say for a minute, the whole Mind campaign. I think that's great. I think that is a Football Manager affiliated campaign, which is marvellous, all for mental health. But that little side note. Kai's through again here. To be fair, he's gone past Keane again. And I might actually have to bring one of those players off at half-time, because the trouble is, who do we bring off? We've only got Ben Godfrey to bring on. We haven't got 2 centre-backs. So who's going to be the unfortunate one that comes off? Kouyaté very nearly gets his, what I presume is a debut goal, stopped by Joanna Lumley there. Mania back to Alderweireld. I mean, their average ratings aren't terrible, but I don't think that's telling the full story. Buchnik, gets dispossessed, but it's a penalty. Dunkley has given a penalty. It looked like a penalty. They're saying it's a harsh decision. It looked like a penalty, though. And Butnik, can he get his second goal of the game and put us ahead before half-time? No, he can't. He misses. Okay, the goalkeeper goes the right way, but it was wide of the post anyway. This hasn't been great. I'm going to put my hands on my hips and say I'm not happy with what we've done there. Let's have a look at these players. Maybe it might be worth putting these on inverted wingers, seeing what they can do ultimately in the second half. The way I'm going to decide this is the fact Alderweireld's more tired. We'll bring Godfrey on. That's the thing I can say at the end of the game. Not you crap, but you looked a bit tired, mate. That's why I've brought you off. The one thing we want to avoid here is, because we haven't got the largest of squads in the world and because we're getting used to this, we don't really want one more match. So I would quite like us to win this today. I'm not suggesting I'd like to lose. I can deal with a replay if the alternative is us going out of this competition. But the fact that our XG is 2.0 at this point, we've had 12 shots, 57% possession, you would think that we'd actually get on with it a bit here, but it just doesn't seem to be happening. So, I think that we do give the old Neil Maupay a chance after he was whinging and saying all that nonsense. And we're also going to bring Alex Iwobi on. We're going to bring him on for Alex Allen, who unfortunately I don't think has had a touch today. I've seen a bit of Kouyaté, but Alex Allen, I haven't seen any of, so I'm none the wiser whether he's a good player or not, unfortunately. But it doesn't help, I suppose. We've got another player called Allen on the pitch, so that would confuse things straight away. Chapman to Kai. If they score a third here, I think we're going to lose this. Kai puts it back to Gate. Kai has a shot, but it goes over. Yeah, Sully Kai. I recognise his name from somewhere. I can't remember where, but he's a player that I've come across before anyway. I don't want to lose this. But equally, I don't want it to get to a replay. So anything else than what's happening now would be great. Zaidu into the box. It gets hoofed out. And now Blackpool have got a counter-attack. That's the problem, really. We're not particularly holding onto the ball very well. And it's very nearly 3-2 Blackpool if it wasn't a good save. And to be fair, quite a poor attempt from the Blackpool striker. I don't know whether this is something to worry about. I'm not sure. Blackpool are just going to play for the draw now, aren't they? They're going to want to come back to Goodison. No, they're not. They're going to score and make it 3-2. You know, this whole thing of, it's going to work here at Everton. We've got a great chance. And then one of the first acts by marvellous Toby Jones, the manager, is to get booted out of the FA Cup by Blackpool. It just doesn't happen. Some things don't mix. And it's not even me and the FA Cup at this point. It's me and football, I don't think, that mix at this point. I think I'm going to go into cricket captain. Anyway, Edwards into the box. It's not all over yet, but to be honest, Blackpool have been by far the better team here. It's been a completely off-colour day for us. And the problem, I don't really think, is our attack, to be brutally honest. Our defence has just been absolutely abysmal. But can Maupay put us back in it? Gets past the keeper. And that is why I want to get rid of Neil Maupay. Any decent striker would have put their foot through it rather than dilly-dallying around the goalkeeper. And that is why we have lost this match. That is unbelievable. That is absolutely unbelievable. To be fair to Blackpool, you know, full marks to them. They had a great day. But it's not really the point. We were dreadful. And that is not really the way that I wanted to start our FA Cup campaign. I suppose it's the way we end our FA Cup campaign. But that's not really the way we want to go. That's annoying, isn't it? Because the club, okay, they weren't that ambitious, but still wants to get us into the fifth round of the FA Cup. I guess what we can do now is exceed expectations in the Premier League. I can't get over that. I can't get over that. I think I'm to blame for some of that. The fact that we didn't play our senior squad, but you would think to make some changes, but I think from us being 1-0 down 20 seconds in, we were doomed. Anyway, we've got a game against Leicester next week, so new game, new chance and all that. And we're only 3 points behind Leicester at this point. If we can go and beat them, then we do move into 8 for wherever that position is, I suppose, when the next game rolls around. So here we are then for the Premier League game today, and hopefully it'll be a lot better than the game against Blackpool. But to be fair, we have picked a much better side for this one. We've got Pickford in goal, with Youssef Attal, Holgate, Godfrey and Digna at the back. Bazoa and Sakaria start in the middle. I think I've decided to sign Sakaria, actually, because looking on the transfer market, there aren't many other great players, and I don't think you're going to get a player as good as this for £13 million, to be brutally honest. And I think you'll probably get 2-3 years out of him. He looks like a good player. Iwobi, Edwards and Williams start in the attacking midfield, and Nelson starts up front. And one thing that made that decision a little bit easier was the fact that we have got Butnik out because of a training injury with a twisted ankle between 8 days and 3 weeks, which made it a bit easier to pick Reece Nelson over whatever his bloody name is now, Bootnik. I tell you what, when you just join a club, it is tricky to know who your players are. No doubt it's easier because it's an English club. I know English football quite well, but this is 6 years in the future, so the Everton squad isn't quite what it is at the moment. Looking at the Leicester squad, that is completely different. They've got James Maddison and Harvey Barnes. That's it, to be fair. They have got Soyuncu on the bench. Paco Alcacer, interesting. Jeff Rain and Adelaide. Well, I mean, that's a throwback to an Arsenal save I did. They have got Ricardo Pereira as well. Kostas Mavranopoulos, he's another signing from Arsenal. Jamal Lewis, yeah, I recognise him. Nuno's the manager there. And I've got a good record against Nuno, which probably means we'll go and get thrashed today. Let's send the assistants that today. I don't quite know what to expect against Leicester because it is such an up and down league this year. I think the result could be absolutely anything. To be honest, if we can get at least a point today, I'll be quite happy. I don't want to lose this one, as you never want to lose any game. But hopefully, for one thing, our defence is a bit better today. I think we're being a bit optimistic. I think we're being very optimistic by thinking we're going to finish in the top 6 this year, given the run of games we've got after this one. But it is good to be optimistic. Something I rarely do in life, but something that we've got to sniff at. So why not go for it? There's no point trying to be just mid-table obscurity. Try and do as well as you can, and that is not the best start either. Pickford scores an own goal. I mean, to be fair, it was going in, but if he'd have held that and kept it off the line, he'd have been alright, but I think a new goal could be something we have to look at. To be quite honest, I've never been a fan of Pickford, and based on some of the things he's done in these first few games, I think it might be time to look elsewhere. But let's see. We've had 69% of possession, which suggests to me we need to push up front, really, and actually make this count. Edwards into the box. Barnes gets it out. There's quite a gap between our defence and everybody else. I guess it's because it was probably a corner rather than just in open play. But Atal with a lovely run down the wing puts it into Lewis Williams, and Lewis Williams very close there, but a brilliant ball in from Yusuf Atal. That's exactly what we're looking for. More from the wingers than anything, but if the fullbacks can do it, then I will take that every day of the week. But I think we're actually on top here with a better team, but, well, I wouldn't say the better team, but the one with the most chances, but clearly we're not really making them count. 6 shots, now 7, only 1 of them on target, so we're not really giving the Leicester keeper, who is not Schmeichel anymore, I don't know who it is, give the Leicester keeper anything to do. We'll find it. Maximenko. Fair enough. Amioni for Leicester. So Brozovic. James Maddison. I know him. Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes to Jamal Lewis. Again, I know both of those. Jamal Lewis. Good marking, but he still beats his man. Jeff Ryan Adelaide makes it 2. This is going to be another defeat, isn't it? I know it's early days here at Everton, so ultimately I don't think there's a lot we can do. It was a little bit like, and I don't want to make too many comparisons early on that will jinx us, but it's a bit like when we went to Nice the first season. There wasn't really a lot we could do. Take the group of players and just do what we can with them. I'm going to thrash my arms though, say we can do better, because I think we can do better. Again, we're not doing great at the moment. It might be a good idea to take off player. No, we'll keep player out of defence on, because that keeps us good at the back, says the team that have conceded 2 already. Apart from that though, I think I'm happy. I'm going to bring the defensive line up a bit more, just try and push up again. We're 2-0 down. If we lose by another 2, then we do. But I'm going to fire up the lads, see what we can do. An early goal in this second half wouldn't do us to the world of harm. But I think there are some changes to be made at Everton this summer. And I think we've got to be ruthless. Probably sell, 5 or 6 players. That's what we're looking for after half-time. Alex Iwobi halves the deficit. But as I've said, I think we've got to have, not necessarily a clear out, but there are 6, 7 or 8 players I'm thinking, right, he's going. And bring in some new signings. And I think if we do that, we're probably 3 or 4 signings away. But we've got quite a bit of deadwood, I think. We've got our normal team, sort of 15, 16 players, but we haven't really got anybody else who's great. We've got a player called Dumbia on the bench, who's not on the bench today. He's actually going out on loan to France, funnily enough. But very nearly 3-1. We've got a player called Dumbia, who's 29. He's a 2.5-star player, nothing special. He's worth 30 million, apparently. Again, I'm quite happy to sell him. There are a lot of players in this squad that I think, they're not really the best. And one of the issues is, looking at this, there's not really anybody up front we can play. We haven't got that, again, we haven't got that clinical striker. Reece Nelson's done decently, but I don't think he can take up the mantle full time, to be brutally honest. And it's all a waiting game to see if Butnick's any good. But can I really wait 6, 12 months to know if Butnick's any good? But I'll tell you what, this could be a way back in. Jamal Lewis potentially handles the ball there. If he does, it's a penalty. And, well, he's not on the pitch, so Thomas Butnick definitely won't be taking it. But this is a great way to potentially get into the game. And it is a penalty, so who's going to be taking it? Marcus Edwards will take it. Let's just see. I haven't selected any penalty takers yet. The only thing I will say is Marcus Edwards is quite frustrated. So I'm going to take it to Alex Iwobi just from his body language. This is a big goal for us if we can get it. And I hope we've made the right decision by putting Alex Iwobi on this penalty. He runs up and he gets it. 2 each. Right back in the game. That's exactly the response we needed after half-time. That is excellent stuff. Now can we potentially go and win this one? And again, I've turned the main light on here because for some reason, I don't quite know why, but it's alright on my music videos. But when it's in the corner, the light on my webcam isn't great when there's no main light on. So that's why I've turned the main light on. Our XG has been much better than Leicester's today. So I think it might be a good chance to try and bring a striker on because Reece Nelson hasn't played all that well today. So do we bring Mopay on or Solken? I think we bring... See, Mopay was crap against Blackpool, but you can't judge a player off one game. That's just harsh, isn't it? But we'll bring Mopay on, see if he can do anything, and we'll also bring... No, we'll leave it. Do we? Do we, don't we? Yes, we do. We'll bring Allen on for Richie Bazua, who's also a target for clubs. Again, some of these players I'm happy to see go. There's not really much I'm too fussed about. But this has been a great fight back. If we can get the win, which I'd really love to do, we'll demand more from the lads. We have been the better team here. 3 points would do us the world of good. But as I said previously, I would take a point. And that looks like what we're going to get here. And again, not too bad. We were 2-0 down at half-time. Therefore, I will take a 2-2. Good comeback from the lads. And if you'd offered me a draw at half-time, well, yes, at half-time, but I'd be at the start of the match as well, I'd have certainly taken it. We're not helped, really, but that Wolves and Tottenham both got points today, albeit Tottenham did draw with Arsenal. But looking at that, I mean, the fact that Leeds have got 2 games in hand is a bit worrying. But looking at that, again, Wolves have got a game in hand. Say they win that. We're 10 points away from Spurs. It's not the worst in the world, is it? It's not terrible. It's not terrible at this point. As you can see, we've got Leeds United next. I'm just waiting for this to load. There we go. We've got Leeds United next. We obviously won't be showing that one on camera. But that should be a good game against Leeds. Hopefully another win. And then we've got quite a... To be fair, actually, it's not too bad. We've got Man United and Liverpool, which I wouldn't expect anything out of. So we'll sit back and hopefully get draws against those two. And then we've got Arsenal, Bournemouth, West Ham. You would say that in March we could do with winning 3 games out of 3. So I think we're probably going to come back for the... I'll come back for the Arsenal game. Arsenal and Bournemouth, I think. And then after that, we're probably going to go forward quite a bit. It all depends really how it's looking. If we're just looking at mid-table, then there's not much point with showing you something. But if we are actually in the race for Europe, then it is worth showing a few more games. So we'll be back in tomorrow's episode, actually. It'll be 27th of December. Christmas has already passed when you guys are watching this. It's Christmas Eve in real life, so I hope you guys had a good Christmas. And I'm still enjoying the content. Well, it won't be long before I'm wishing you all a happy new year, which is crazy. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. We'll be back tomorrow for those 2 big games against Arsenal and Bournemouth, so do not miss a minute of those. Decent episode today. I'd have liked to have forgotten the game against Blackpool quite quickly, and hopefully we go on a run of good form that can make sure we completely forget about that game. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've been TIJ Gaming. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye for now.